Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make an adorable cat family wearing cozy sweaters. And these sweaters are made from a recycled material because all of the projects that we're working on this lesson have to do with making something new using something old. So for something old on this project, it's going to be an old magazine or a newspaper. It could even be an old book as long as it is your book or you have permission to cut into it because we are going to be cutting shapes from it. The magazine that I'm using is just one that I got for free from Hy-Vee. It's a grocery store. They just mailed it to me, and it has some really good examples of text. I got different kinds of letters, different colors, different patterns that I can use and cut out for art. But any kind of magazine will work. All right, you're also going to need a pair of scissors to do your cutting, some glue for gluing down all of the pieces, a pencil so that we can draw our cat shapes, a piece of paper to draw the cats on, and then if you have something like a black pen or a marker, that's what I like to use to draw the face features, like the eyes and the nose and the whiskers, okay? Alright, let's go ahead and get started with the first step, which is to draw our cat family. Now you can have as many cats in your family as you like. One thing that I do like to suggest is that you consider making your cats different sizes. It'll just make your artwork look a little bit more interesting, and also it's reflective of a real family. And a real family, not everyone will be the same size, and that goes with our cats too. So we're going to start with real simple, just a tall curved rainbow line like that, with 2 points at the top that will be turned into ears. 1, 2. Okay, and this is actually going to be the back side of my cat. So if you mess up, you can just erase or scribble and try again. We're going to cut these out, and then when you flip it over, you'll have a nice, clean, smooth side for your cat. Okay, and then my next one, same step, but I want to try to make it a different size, so either taller or shorter than this one. And there we go. And 2 pointy shapes at the top for ears. And I'm going to have 3 cats in this family, so I'll turn my paper and make another cat. Curved rainbow line and my pointy shapes for ears. Okay? If you need more time to draw your cat family, then just pause the video and click play when you're ready for the next step, because I'm going to move on. The next step will be to cut these out on your line. And remember, as I said before, the part that has your pencil lines, that will be the back side. If you flip it over, you should have a nice, neat, plain white side. And actually, you don't have to use white paper. If you have a different color paper at home and you want your cats to be a different color, that's fine too. But my examples are going to be white. All right. Once you have all of your cat family cut out, then you're going to be ready to draw on the faces. So that's the part that I'm going to do with this black Sharpie pen. If you have a black pen or a black marker or something you think will work for your cat face, now's the time to get that. Now, the whole point of the project is to make this beautiful sweater out of our different scraps that we're going to be cutting out of our magazine. So we want most of our cat to be sweater space. So that means we need to kind of squish the face into a very small area. So we're going to start with the cat nose, and for this, make sure it's really, really up top, not down here, because we want to save all that space for a sweater. Okay, so way up here at the top, I'm going to make kind of this upside down triangle shape and color that in for a cat nose. For a cat mouth, I just like to make a tiny line going down from that triangle. And then if you want them to look kind of serious, you can make the lines going down. If you want them to look a little happier, you can curve the lines up. My cat family is going to be sleeping, so I'm going to have curved lines like that for the eyes. Sometimes I'll add eyelashes to some of them, make some of them look a little bit more girly. And then of course, for a cat, you're going to need some whiskers. And I'm going to call that finished. Some other things you could add, you can add kind of designs at the top if you want your cat to look, it has stripes or kind of like a pattern at the top. You could color in that inside part of the ears pink. This one I even did pink rosy cheeks. So if there's anything else extra you want to add, you can definitely add that. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be the sweater. Alrighty. So I have already cut these out and drawn faces on these, so you don't have to watch me do all that. But next I'm going to need to look through my magazine and cut out strips of colors or designs that I like. So I'll kind of walk through and show you. Okay, this right here, perfect example of finding some cool patterns in a magazine. So I need kind of like long rectangle shapes for the stripes of my sweater. And you just want to make sure that the stripe is long enough to go all the way across the cat. And don't worry about extras. We're going to have extras on the sides. I'll show you how to do that later. Okay? So you'll go through your magazine. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful example of color and texture right here. And cut out this little Easter basket. Perfect. That'll be great. And you'll just kind of flip through. Love the way these leaves look right here, so I might cut these out. And you'll just look through your magazine and cut out colors and shapes and patterns that you think might look interesting. And they don't have to be things that look like fabric or sweaters, so just get creative with it. Once you feel like you have a lot of things to choose from, oh, and I love cutting up some examples of text too. I think the text looks really good mixed in with all the different colors. And sometimes I even try to just put like one word across, this adventure word. I think makes it look kind of cool. But so just something to think about, some ideas. All right, next step is going to be a gluing step. So for this step, you'll need to have your cat family cut out. They already have faces drawn on them, and you already have lots of choices for sweater designs, okay? All right, I'm going to be using a glue stick. I think that's easiest for this project, but if you have glue in a bottle or some other kind of glue, that will work just fine as well. Okay, so I'm going to cover this cat part from like right here and down in glue, and I'm going to start picking out pieces that I think might look good together. So maybe this one that I cut out with you from the Barbie be at the top. And notice I have extras on both sides. That's fine. I'm not going to trim that off until the very end. Oh, this is kind of fun. And notice when I'm adding the next stripe, I don't want to leave any white in between, okay? I put it right up next to that one. So this, not so good. This, good. And just go all the way down until I fill up the whole cat. And you're going to want to do that with all of the cats in your cat family, okay? Now, if I were you, I'd go ahead and pause so that you can get all of your sweaters glued on. I already have an example of some glued on sweater pieces that I'm going to show you how to do this next last step. So here's an example of a cat that I already glued on all of the sweater pieces, but it doesn't look finished yet, right? So this looks like a cat wearing a sweater. This looks like a cat under maybe like a crazy blanket or something. We need to trim off these edges. The best way to do that is to flip the cat to the back side, and then with your scissors, you'll just cut off any parts that hang over. Like that. And that is one finished cat. And you will go ahead and do that for your whole cat family. All right, well, I hope you have fun, get creative, and think like an artist.